You really did. And you were like, I heard you coming on the show. And I was like, yeah, I'm joining the show. She was like, did they give you car stipend? I was like, no. Did they give you this? I was like, no. I was like, let me get my deal sheet out. And you basically went over your salary for the entire time you were there. And you also gave me Jenny McCarthy. 15 women have accused him of sexual assault. We've heard about the Stormy Daniels story, that he allegedly paid $130,000.
Were you pissed that she canceled on your show?
I was. Only because, we're a very supportive environment for women. I mean, I think any guest will tell you that. He taught me, all the mathematical tables, and by the time I got into 3rd grade, the teacher said, she's just passed all the standardized tests up to 12. I was reluctant to share it, actually.
Why?
I will tell you, because I knew that it would get pickup. I knew that it would be Sonny Hostin from The View. And
so what?
I know.
Look, this happened to you. You weren't lying.
It happened, but I will tell you, right after it happened, I went over to Joy Behar's house. And she said, what's wrong with you? You're not your usual self. And I told her, and she said, we're talking about this on the show.
For years, The View reigned as one of the most prominent and influential daytime talk shows on television, providing audiences with a mix of engaging debates, insightful discussions, and lively banter between co-hosts. However, what seemed like an unshakable media powerhouse crumbled at a pace no one could have predicted. The show, once a staple of daytime TV, found itself entangled in an overwhelming storm of internal conflict, scandal, and legal threats, ultimately leading to its downfall. While the program had navigated controversies before, this time, the damage was beyond repair. Central to this dramatic collapse was co-host Sonny Hostin, whose outspoken nature had always been a defining trait, but in this instance, proved to be the catalyst for the show's demise. The beginning of the end came after Sonny made a scathing critique of a powerful public figure. Known for her direct and unapologetic commentary, she did not hold back, making statements that quickly ignited a firestorm. While some viewers praised her candor, others felt she had crossed a dangerous line. The backlash was immediate and intense, sparking heated conversations both within the production team and among the network executives. Some worried that her comments could lead to serious consequences, particularly regarding defamation, and as legal threats loomed, tensions among the co-hosts grew palpable. What had initially been a single segment of heated discussion soon turned into a full-blown crisis. As speculation over legal repercussions increased, the atmosphere at The View took a drastic turn. Producers and network executives scrambled to contain the fallout, reassuring the cast and crew that no official lawsuit had been filed, at least not yet. Despite these assurances, concern lingered behind the scenes. The show's dynamic had always thrived on controversy, but this time, the stakes felt different. Some of Sonny's colleagues began to question whether their bold approach to discussions had finally backfired. Co-hosts who had once stood firmly by each other's sides now found themselves divided over how to handle the escalating situation. Sonny, for her part, remained steadfast in her belief that she had done nothing wrong. She argued that her statements were protected under her First Amendment rights and that she was merely expressing an opinion. However, as the media frenzy intensified, she could not ignore the growing scrutiny. Critical articles surfaced, framing her as the primary reason for the show's current crisis. While she had faced criticism before, this time, the attacks felt unrelenting, painting her as reckless and irresponsible. Even longtime fans of The View began questioning whether she had gone too far. Things took a decisive turn when the much-anticipated defamation lawsuit was officially filed. The plaintiff claimed that Sonny's comments had caused significant reputational damage and accused her of making statements without concrete evidence. As news of the lawsuit broke, it sent shockwaves through the industry. Advertisers, who had long supported the show, began withdrawing their sponsorships, unwilling to be associated with such controversy. The financial impact was immediate and devastating. While ratings initially spiked due to the heightened public interest in the scandal, it was clear that the show was standing on shaky ground. The loss of advertising revenue placed immense pressure on ABC, forcing executives to make difficult decisions. After intense discussions, the network announced that The View would be placed on an indefinite hiatus. For the staff and crew, many of whom had dedicated years to the show, the announcement was a gut-wrenching blow. The uncertainty of their futures loomed over them, and emotional goodbyes became a daily occurrence. During this tumultuous period, Sonny became noticeably absent from several episodes, further fueling speculation that the pressure was getting to her. While some believed she was merely taking time to process the situation, others suspected that the network had advised her to step back to reduce tensions. As rumors circulated, the final confirmation of the show's cancellation sent shockwaves through the industry. Fans were left divided, with some blaming Sonny for the downfall and others arguing that she was being unfairly scapegoated. In the days following the official announcement, images surfaced of Sonny clearing out her dressing room, visibly shaken by the end of what had been a defining chapter of her career. A private moment of her appearing emotional was captured by a bystander and quickly spread on social media, adding another layer of public discourse to an already volatile situation. Some viewed the moment with sympathy, while critics dismissed it as a calculated attempt at garnering public favor. Determined to address the controversy on her own terms, Sonny later agreed to an exclusive interview, offering her perspective on what had transpired. Fighting back tears, she spoke candidly about the heartbreak of losing the show and the emotional toll of watching her professional world crumble. She maintained that her intent had never been to defame anyone, and that her remarks had been made in good faith, in the spirit of open dialogue. However, she admitted that the experience had changed her view on the media landscape and the precarious nature of speaking one's mind in a high-profile position. Critics, however, were quick to question her sincerity, accusing her of using the interview as a strategic move to rehabilitate her public image. Supporters, on the other hand, praised her for speaking out, arguing that she was unfairly targeted for simply engaging in honest discourse. Regardless of public opinion, the legal battle was far from over. The lawsuit remained ongoing, and its resolution would ultimately determine whether Sonny faced any lasting professional or financial consequences. Meanwhile, her former co-hosts also found themselves at a crossroads. Joy Behar expressed deep disappointment over the show's cancellation, while Whoopi Goldberg hinted at the possibility of the show returning in a different format, though such a revival remained purely speculative. The downfall of The View became a case study in the delicate balance between bold commentary and legal accountability. Media analysts dissected the situation, debating whether the network had provided sufficient legal guidance to its hosts and if stricter protocols should have been in place. Conversations also arose about the responsibilities of talk show personalities and whether there should be clearer boundaries between opinion and potentially defamatory statements. Some industry insiders even suggested a possible rebranding of The View, perhaps featuring rotating hosts to reduce individual liability, though such discussions remained purely hypothetical. In the months that followed, Sonny chose to step away from the public eye, opting for a quieter approach as the legal case unfolded. Her social media presence became sparse, and she refrained from making any direct statements regarding the lawsuit, likely on the advice of her legal team. For someone who had built her career on outspoken commentary, this newfound silence was a striking shift. To many, it symbolized the profound impact the scandal had on her, marking a transition from an influential media figure to someone navigating the consequences of their words in a deeply personal and legally complex manner. Despite the quiet, public interest in the case remained high. As updates on the lawsuit trickled in, they reignited debates about responsibility, accountability, and the volatile nature of modern media. When reports surfaced about an upcoming critical hearing in the case, speculation intensified. Would the lawsuit ultimately vindicate Sonny, or would it cement her as the figure responsible for the show's downfall? Public sentiment remained deeply divided. While some continued to support her, arguing that she had been unfairly targeted, others believed that she had been reckless and should be held accountable. Images of Sonny leaving court soon appeared in the press, showing a woman who, while still composed, seemed to carry the weight of the situation on her shoulders. The confident, outspoken host viewers had once known now appeared subdued, a stark contrast to her former on-screen persona. The site fueled even more discussion, emphasizing the lasting effects of the scandal, not only on her, but on everyone affiliated with The View. Despite everything, Sonny did receive offers for new opportunities. Networks and streaming platforms expressed interest in working with her, with some offering her the chance to launch a podcast where she could continue discussing pressing social and political issues. However, she remained hesitant about returning to the media sphere. In a candid moment, she admitted to feeling disillusioned by how quickly the industry had turned on her. One day, she had been celebrated for her boldness. The next, she was treated as a liability. Reflecting on the final days of The View, Sonny described an environment filled with anxiety and uncertainty. The mounting legal threats, the loss of advertising revenue, and the shifting public opinion had all contributed to an overwhelming sense of dread. It was an experience that left her questioning the very nature of the industry she had dedicated her career to. The collapse of The View left an undeniable mark on television, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences of unfiltered commentary in an age where legal repercussions and public scrutiny are more intense than ever. As opinions remain divided, Sonny's journey became emblematic of the challenges media figures face today. Her story, shaped by resilience, controversy, and the realities of modern media, remains unfinished. Whether she will return to the public sphere or choose a different path remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the echoes of The View's downfall will linger for years to come, serving as a cautionary tale about the complexities of speaking boldly in a world where words can carry immense consequences.